I'm going to show you the most broken ship design in all of Starfield, and it is not going to be what you were expecting. So this is the most overpowered invincible ship that you could possibly get, and I made this thing out of all A-grade pieces just to show you how insane it is. And believe it or not, right now, this is on very hard difficulty that I'm doing what you're seeing right here. Before we get into it though, I want to give a huge shout out to a YouTuber named Morpholoth. He's been blowing up on the internet with his build, and he made something like this. And if you guys want to do a favor sub to me, he only has like 38 subs. I'm going to link to his channel in the description of this video. But I took what he made and I basically perfected it. I improved it as much as I possibly could. I've tested it a million times, and I think I've come up with the absolute best version of it that makes you as close to invincible as you'll possibly ever be with this. The first thing you need to do is you need to go to New Atlantis in order to buy some materials. If you're totally new to the game, Alpha Centauri is over here. Jemison is right here. And then we can go to New Atlantis and go to the New Atlantis district. When you first land here, there's ship services on your right. You could do all this over there, but you'll have to do it with different parts than what I'm going to show you in this video. There's a better way to do it that'll get you access to more parts, and that's what I'm going to do to make the exact copy that I have right here behind me. So we're going to make a quick pit stop at Jemison Mercantile. The spaceport was down there. Let's head up the stairs and go to your left. There's only 4 things we need this time. This is not a very complicated build. There's only one thing we want to make. So we're going to go in here. We're going to buy all the aluminum. We're going to buy all the adaptive frames. And then we're also going to buy all of the iron, and we're going to buy 2 0 wires. Then we're going to head out of the shop, go to the chairs over there, wait 24 hours so our shop restocks, and then buy all of the iron and aluminum a second time. Now go back to the map of Jemison and just pick a random area and travel to it. Once you're on the surface, you need to open up your scanner. I don't know what the button is on Xbox, but it's F on controller. At the bottom, you can see the button for it. It's R in order to make an outpost, and then E in order to confirm at the bottom right. Then we need only one object. Go to the miscellaneous tab at the top right. Make a landing pad with shipbuilder. You can see at the bottom right says toggle view with V. We're going to press that, and then we're going to try to find literally anywhere to slap this thing down around here. Once you have that thing down, you're going to go over to it and get up to the little computer at the top like this, and you're going to press view and modify ships. Now you're going to take whatever ship you already have. If you want a new ship, you'll have to buy a ship or steal a ship and then register it in order to use a different ship than your normal ship. And then we're going to go ahead and build this. So I'm going to go ahead and build it from scratch. I'm going to go ahead and delete one of my other ships. Now we have a clean slate to work from. Go to the bottom right and click on add. And we're going to start off with a cockpit. Now the reason we did this on an outpost and not at the New Atlantis port is because now at the outpost, it lets you build from all the parts in the game without having to go shop around at different spaceports. So we're going to start with the Armstrong 10 cockpit, mainly because it's very small and compact. We want to make everything as small and compact as possible to decrease our hitbox size. Then after that, we're only going to have one habitation, and it's just going to be a 1x1. You can do whichever one you want. I'm going to do the Deimos Companionway. Then after that, what we're going to need is we are going to need gear. So we're going to go to the gear tab, and we're going to use the AccuLander 11. So we're going to put down one of those, and then we're going to, at the bottom says options, left control, and the bottom right says duplicate. We're going to duplicate that. We're going to flip it, and then put it like that. Okay, so now we have that set up. Now we need to do the landing bay. So we're going to go to the bays, and for the bay, we are going to use the Stability Pro landing bay. If it's the wrong way, then you press Z to flip it. And on the right, there's R and F to go up and down in case you get confused. So in case it's like too high or too low. We're going to flip it, put it on like that, so it should look like that. Okay, now the base of the ship's almost done. We're going to open back up the add tab, and now we're going to look for the dockers. And so for the docker, we're going to take the Hope 11 port, which is going to actually let us go further than the maximum ship width for some reason. It just does. So now we have all that, so that's set up. Now what we're going to do is we are going to put on the weird like risers. So we're going to go to structural, and in structural there's going to be Hope Tech stuff, and in the Hope Tech stuff there's going to be a riser B. So we're going to put the riser B on the corner, and then we're going to duplicate it. We're going to zoom out some and then start raising the camera a little bit, and then we're going to duplicate these until, watch the bottom right, there's 5 errors. When it goes to 6, we know we've gone too tall. So there's 6, so we can't go that high. And we need to take back one of those. Now we need to go back to the add menu, and we need to scroll up to the Deimos. We need the Deimos Hull A. I'm going to take one of these and put it on right there. And then after that, we'll only have this one because we needed the attachment points on the front, and it's just one of the ones that'll work. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take go back to there. We're going to go to the Deimos bracers. We're going to need one of those, but we don't need it just yet. And then we're also going to need the Hope Tech pipes. So there's Hope Tech pipes A, I think it was. Yeah, Hope Tech pipes A. I don't think there is a B. Now we're going to take it like that and attach it there. Now, real quick at this point, there's a lot of bugs when building this ship. So check the flight thing. Make sure that it says all your pieces are attached. Okay, so nothing. Make sure it doesn't say that nothing's attached. All right. Because at some points, it may bug and be like, oh, something's unattached, even though it is attached. And if so, you just got to delete everything and just like mess with it till you figure it out. So now we have too many. So 6 goes back to 5. This is going to be the next corner. So we're going to take this one and duplicate. We're going to delete this one and put this one on the corner. Now we're going to put down that other thing. We're going to just go back up to the Deimos bracer. And we got up here somewhere the Deimos. Okay, I somehow can't find it anymore. Deimos bracer. There it is. And we're doing this one and that one because they're so thin. We want the thinnest possible thing to decrease our hitbox size. And this one is very small, which is amazing. So we're going to do the same thing here where we move this over until we see the arrows go from 5 to 6. All right, that's too far. So that must need to be the corner then. So now we're going to take this and we're going to put this on right here. All right, so now we've got the base of this thing set up. Now we need to look at the arrows. We need a few different things. We need Reactor, we need Grav Drive, we need all that stuff. So I'm going to do a really cheap A-class ship, but if you're going to do this, you should definitely want to put on the best parts that you have available to you. If you have higher piloting skill and spaceship design, then you should go put on B parts for everything. But I'm going to show you a super cheap A design just to show you how cheaply and affordably you can make this thing, and then just like already be able to beat everything. So we're just going to take like a really chintzy reactor. We'll take this cheapest one they have. And let me see if it has a bottom. It has a bottom attachment point. So we're going to take it and we're going to put it on the bottom of this, ideally. It's very hard to do sometimes. Okay, so now we have the reactor. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the Grav Drives. So we're going to go to Grav Drives, and there's an R3000 Alpha Grav Drive. And the main reason I picked this one, it costs a little bit more, but then you'll have higher grav jump thrust with an A-class one. And if you want to spend the money, realistically, you could get this, but you need Starship Design too. This is the best one you can use as A-class that doesn't use Starship Design. And the reason you want to splurge on the Grav Drive is because it'll make your life better when exploring the solar system. If you actually use this ship, you'll actually be able to jump to all the different planets and not have to like go back and change parts out. So we're going to attach that on right there. Then after that, we're going to attach fuel tanks. So we're going to go to the fuel tanks and we're going to look for the M20 Ulysses or whatever HE3 tank. We're doing this one because it has a bottom and a top to it. And you could... yeah, that's mainly the main thing. It's just the best one that has this bottom and top to it like this. Also, my game crashed right then. I had to redo everything, so be aware that can happen. So we're going to take this thing and we're going to attach it right here. Really quick, we're going to check to make sure it doesn't say there are no unattached modules. If it does, you're just going to delete everything and then control undo your deletions, like go back and forth between undoing and redoing until you eventually figure out where the problem is. If it says there's unattached modules, it is a bug. It is absolutely a bug, and you just got to remove things and change things out and try things until eventually it fixes it. You got to troubleshoot, basically, but so far we're good. So we're going to duplicate this fuel tank. Actually, we're not ready to duplicate this yet. We need to take one of these bracers, and we need to bring it over here, and then we need to attach one of them right there, and then we need to duplicate this and put that right there. Okay, now we can take a fuel tank, and we can put it on right here. Then what we need to do before we can do another fuel tank, well, I guess we can put another fuel tank on right now. I'll have to see. Maybe we readjust them. So now what we want to do is we want to use engines. So we're going to go over to the engines tab, and we're going to use, just for demonstration purposes, we're going to use the cheap Amun 1 engine. Actually, we're going to use the Amun 2 because it's only slightly more expensive, but gives dramatically more thrust. So actually, never mind. It'd be dumb to use the 1. So let's use the Amun 2. Then what we can do is we can go over here and we can attach one right here. Now, something else that we're going to do in order to make this better is we're going to go over and delete this one in the corner. And then we're instead going to take the Grav Drive and put it on the corner right there. That'll let us take... Let's see which thing we can use here. I can't remember. We can put the fuel tank there and then duplicate this, and then we can put this there. Now we've got 2 engines, 3 fuel tanks. We have our reactor, and the Grav Drive is over there. And now look at that. We have 30 jump range and 61 mobility. Now, all that matters is mobility. Top speed does not matter at all, but you will coincidentally have a lot of it. We just need to be able to rotate as quickly as possible while not moving in order to avoid gunfire. The whole job of this is just watch the laser fire and try to twist in a way where they all shoot and miss. Okay, so at this point, we're already almost done. The only things we're missing are shield and weapons. So now what we're going to do is go to the shield tab, and I mean, I can just put the cheapest one on, but realistically, you're going to want to put on the absolute best shield that you can possibly put on because you just need the shield. I mean, sooner or later, you know, you'll be twisted in a weird way and they'll be at a weird angle and they'll hit one of your bracings or something and actually do damage. And when that happens, you got to adjust real fast so they don't kill you. But shield just gives you more wiggle room. So just because of that, I'm actually going to put on, I mean, you would ideally, you know, if you have everything unlocked, starship design and everything, then you're going to want to go put like, you know, 1,600 shield on, probably this thing, right? You'd also need a C reactor then too, so you have to change out the reactor and stuff. But I'm just going to put on the best A rank one that doesn't use starship design over there. So we'll just put on the 30S, and we'll just go ahead and stick this thing on back here. If I can get it zoomed in, there we go. Okay, so now the only thing that we are missing is the weapons. We're going to go back to the structural tab, and we're going to look for the Deimos Spine C. So Deimos Spine C4. Take it, hold it, and then hit the flip button down there. Then bring it up here and put one on right there. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go to the weapons tab. And if you want to go, you can put on whatever weapon that you want. But I'm just trying to make a budget one to show you that the build is so OP that you could build the cheapest thing imaginable, basically, and still kill the most insane ships ever, even in the hardest difficulty. So what we're looking for is the PB-30 Electron Beam. Now, the reason I picked this one specifically is because not only is it A-class, but it's also very cheap, doesn't use starship design, and more importantly, it has a range of 3,000. Which is very important considering the fact that most of the time we're just going to sit there and not move. So we don't want to run into a situation where they go out of range and we can't hit them. So we just want a long range one that's consistent. So we're going to take them, we're going to put them on all three of these. Then we're also going to duplicate the Deimos Spine C, but we can't have that many of the same gun, so we got to delete the side ones. So there we go, we have 4 of those weapons. So now we can assign the weapons like that. I'm going to double check. Can we actually put another one on? No, we can't. So you put another one on and it says it's drawing too much power for the weapons. So we're just going to put those on. You could put more weapons on if you want. It honestly wouldn't be a bad idea to throw on some more weapons. But leaving it like this just makes it simple and easy. So now we're good. We have the weapon assigned. So we literally are just set. We don't have to do anything else now. This is it. It is only 35,000 to build it exactly as I built it right here. And you could put on way more expensive parts. Realistically, if you have money, if you have piloting, if you have starship design, you want to replace all those critical infrastructure parts with C-grade parts. C-grade weapons, C-grade reactor, you know, or B-grade if that's what you have. Put on the best stuff you can realistically. But I'm just going to show you how powerful this is. It's so overpowered and invincible that even with the crappy A-grade parts, I can beat the Crick system battle on very hard extremely easily without even having to move. So when you're done, press exit at the bottom right and then accept. And now you have your crazy ship that you're going to work with here. Okay, so now we're going to make this your home ship at the bottom right. Back out and double check that everything looks okay. And it looks good to me. So we're all ready. Make sure to save your game in case it's going to crash again. And then change your difficulty to whatever you want. I'm going to make sure mine's on very hard. And then I am going to head over to the map, I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to go over to the Crick system to go to the key and fight the Crimson Fleet. So I got a crazy roll here of super high level ones, so I'm not sure I can do this with A-grade parts right here. But for the most part, if you put good parts on that are at your level, it should be easy. And honestly, this would be really easy if it wasn't for one factor, which is these guys have missiles. And the missiles will just spin around you forever until eventually they somehow happen to hit something like right there. And that is the one weakness to the thing, and that is why you really want to have better shields on, because eventually you'll have 10,000 missiles hit you all at once. Now, realistically, if you're going to fight like 7 or 8 high-level enemies at once that all have missiles, you're probably going to upgrade these parts. I'm going to upgrade all these parts super high to C-grade parts now, and I'm going to show you how crazy it is as a standard ship design equivalent. Also, just to showcase the bugginess of how this can be, I haven't changed a thing. I literally just went to the ship builder and it already says ship has unattached modules, even though that's literally how it was before. So there's going to be a lot of errors and troubleshooting to get it to work right. I put on a good generator, good shield. I'm going to put on these alpha beams. Now might be overkill, but I am level 115, so putting good parts on is kind of what I should be expected to do at this point if I'm going to be fighting like level 70 to 100 ships. Also, to upgrade the engine just to give myself a little bit of mobility. So it's going to cost way more to do this, but I am so endgame that I really should have this. I'm going to try to fight like 7 to 8 ships that are all level 70 at the same time. Also, the ship weighs too much now, so I got to reluctantly add on one more landing gear right there. So it's a little bit more likely for me to get hit now, but now I can actually fight like a real ship for the level that I am. Now let's see how this actually will go. So I'm going to put all my extra points into shield, make sure all my stuff's ready. And now the whole fight was pretty pathetically easy. So as long as you have parts that are even close to the level that you actually are, his build is broken. Like 99% of their shots missed. The only thing that really hit me was missiles. And missiles are the only thing that really can hit you, because they'll literally circle until eventually they hit eventually no matter what. But if I was like level 30 or level 10 and I was fighting level 10 ships, A-class parts are gonna be fine. A-class parts will let you kill like anything. And this is like the extreme scenario. How many ship fights do you guys get in where you fight like 7 ships level 70 plus all at once? But even then, all those ships were extremely high level, and I was able to beat them without even breaking a sweat. I didn't even have to move. I literally sat still, doing nothing. And I'm not even using my reactor to full. I could put more parts on if I wanted. I could make this thing stronger. This is actually just meh for a C-class ship. So this thing's insane, guys. This ship is absolutely broken. So if you want a ship that makes it so all the space fights are way easier, I mean, this was on very hard, fighting like 7 level 70 ships, and it was easy because of this ship design. It is the most broken thing ever. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully now you'll be able to win your ship fights on very hard with this ridiculous ship cheese. And now you know how to make the invincible cheese ship design in Starfield.